Hey, Dan.
Sup, oh natural Jed.
It's good to be back,
Yeah,
or for the first time for some people,
true.
because some of you may be coming over from our previous podcast, the conversations with Dan,
Hmm.
but this is the beginning of your Dan Owen podcast.
I thought we were going to call it Dumb and Dumber.
Depending on the day, it may be interesting to see which one of us is which.
Okay.
But no, this is the Dan Owen podcast. So we're going to be incorporating quite a few different things into this one. Some things we've done before, some things you've done in some other programs, but we're trying to fold them kind of all into one singular space.
Yeah, and we're trying to bring in some people as guests and dig deeply into some things with some different kinds of people in our podcast. So hopefully we'll reach out to quite a few people with this.
Yeah, and we'll talk some more about maybe some of those guests that we might have coming up here soon. Just so you know, I mean, we're obviously still going to be in the Bible. We're going to be talking about Bible things.
Absolutely.
So, inevitably, that's one of the questions is people come to, and they're like, well, what's going to change? Are you going to be doing something different? And it's like, we're still talking ministry. We're still talking Bible. We're talking a lot of application.
Yeah, we might be talking about a lot of practical things as well as biblical things and things that surround the Bible.
Because, I mean, the Bible doesn't just exist within the pages of the Bible. Like, eventually it has to go out into the real world, so to say.
And be in people's lives.
Yeah. And so how does that affect people? How do we interact with it? How do we put it into action?
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of those discussions coming up here in the near future. Yeah. So thinking about some of those new things, maybe some of the people you're reaching out to, kind of give us an idea. Where are you finding these people? Who are you talking to? Maybe who's on the lineup?
Well, I'm finding that a lot of people have basic assumptions that are hindering their spirituality. So we're going to have at least a couple of conversations starting out with a friend of mine that's pretty much an expert in apologetics. We're going to be talking about Darwinism. We're going to be talking about the biblical account of creation and some of the assumptions people have in their lives about that and how that affects everything else. We have some people that are very good in biblical studies. One of them, we're going to have a talk about predestination and implications of predestination for people. Another brother that's very good biblical scholar, teacher. We're going to talk about the Holy Spirit and His Word, His work in our life, and we're going to talk about the whole issue of unity among God's people and how that's so difficult and what are some answers to that. Those are some of the first few that I've got lined up.
And are these like people here in Paducah?
No, they're all people that live elsewhere and work elsewhere.
Okay, people you've connected with through years of ministry, working. You also teach at Bear Valley.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, the Bear Valley Preaching School.
Yeah.
And so some of these, I imagine, are connections you've made there.
Yes. I teach at the Bear Valley Bible Institute International in Denver, have for a number of years. And I teach right now 6 undergraduate courses and 4 graduate courses. So I meet a lot of people, both fellow teachers and people that take classes long distance all over the place. So yeah.
So kind of pulling from a lot of those different areas and maybe some people that you haven't spent as much time with, but you find interesting to talk to.
Right. That's exactly right.
So we'll be bringing some different things, some people in, like you were talking about, for specific conversations.
Right. And we want not just old teachers, but we want some younger people that are out there in ministry that have questions that they need answers, and we're going to bring them on as guests, and
so we'll mix it up and we'll see who we get.
And
from time to time, those interviews will be kind of the two of us with someone. Sometimes it's just you and that person.
And we might just have some conversations with you and I like we did before about a few things as well. So we'll have a variety of different things.
Right. It'll keep it fresh and kind of depending on the situations there. Let's see. I guess for those who are new to us, we probably should tell them who we are kind of in our day-to-day. You mentioned you
That's
teach.
Jed and I'm Dan.
Yes, that is true. But in addition to you teaching at Bear Valley, you're still a minister in a local congregation as well.
Yep. Jed
Okay.
and I are both ministers at the Broadway Church of Christ. We have different roles. I'm called a teaching minister, and he's the jack of all trades that keeps everything running.
Yeah. You still teach quite a bit for our congregation,
Yep,
teaching Sunday morning Bible classes and
right.
stuff. Uh,
Ladies' classes,
oh yeah,
sometimes Wednesday night classes,
lots of personal Bible studies in and
right?
out of the
All that kind of
office. Yeah.
stuff.
And then my main role is I'm the worship minister here. So I lead our singing, I plan our worship services, but I also have the title of administrative minister,
Which
um,
is he does that, yes.
which is I do that. I
He
think that's
tells me what to do. I don't like it, but he tells me what to do. Okay.
it was funny. I spoke at a congregation this summer, and they were like, "We're not sure what that is, but it must mean something." You
Yeah.
know? It is that. It is that. So I'll just say, thanks again for joining us here, for coming with us on this journey, for giving us a listen. We are a new channel, and so we're looking to build it up. So any help you can give, we would greatly appreciate spreading the word, posting about this. We made a
Subscribing.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel and everything. We made the promise that if we hit 1,000 subscribers, we will do a live Q&A.
Okay.
Now that's a high goal for a new channel,
Yeah.
but I think we can get there.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah,
That would be fun.
it would be a lot of fun to do that, and then we could just, in general, answer some of your questions about us, about the Bible, whatever it may be. They're live and uncensored, I guess, since
You
we won't
bet.
be able to edit it in those moments. But like you said, we've got lots of things coming up. I know we talked about a couple of other series, so just thinking along the lines of we may talk about like ministerial burnout and how you handle that, how you move forward. I'm sure several of the people we talk to will have that on their minds. The even go into the predestination sort of idea. What is grace? What is salvation? A lot of those topics will come up fairly often. And then I would like to talk about God's judgment at some point.
We're doing a class on that now.
Yeah, you're teaching a Sunday morning class on that while I'm teaching one on the book of Judges. So some similar themes pop up in those two classes.
Yeah.
And I think that would be good to
Judges is rated R, isn't it? Pretty much.
maybe more than that in some passages,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Didn't they cut up some woman and send her out?
Yeah, again, we don't want to get demonetized in our
Okay,
first video,
okay.
but yeah, there's some rough material there. But that's part of why we want to discuss it. Is sometimes we tend to shy away from those rough and edgy and uncomfortable parts of the
Yeah,
Bible.
one lady that used to be in my ladies' Bible class here said, Danny, I don't care if that is in the Bible. We shouldn't be talking about it. That's what she said about the book of Judges.
That is some people's opinion. Yeah. And she said it out loud.
Yep.
Oh, man. But we've got a lot on the horizon. We're looking forward to this, looking forward to getting back to doing this program, and we'll see what comes from it.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. But before we go, I want to ask you 10 questions.
Okay.
All right. Did you ever watch Inside the Actors Studio?
No.
Okay. Well, there was a show, some of y'all may be familiar with it, but it was for an acting school, and the presenter, one of the guys that led the school, he would always sit there and he had these 10 questions. Well, these aren't those exact 10 questions, but they're similar to it.
Okay.
And it goes back to an older set from that. But that was my favorite part of the interview. They could talk about what movies they've been in or how they act, but I always looked forward to the quick answers at the end. So here we go. This is quick, so don't think about it too hard.
Okay.
What is your favorite word?
Actually.
Actually, okay. What is your least favorite word?
No.
What excites you creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
When I get to just study something and just learn myself, that gets me really excited.
Hmm.
When I find out new things and clarify things and learning, that gets me excited.
So what disgusts you?
Hypocritical people disgust me.
What is your go-to word when you hurt yourself?
Bleep? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
We don't know. We'll have to wait and find out sometime.
How bad am I hurt? Yeah.
Yeah. What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of my wife's voice.
So what do you hate to hear?
I hate to hear uh, somebody cry that's in great pain.
Mm. Hmm. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
That's a hard one. I don't have one.
Yeah. This is the
I've
one and
never
only,
wanted to
huh?
be anything else.
Okay. So then maybe what profession would you not like to do? Like, absolutely no way.
I wouldn't want to be a prison guard or a police officer, I don't think.
Hmm. All right. And then last one, knowing that heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say?
If I can just hear that, well done, thou good and faithful servant, enter into the joys of your Lord, that'd be good enough for me.
Amen to that. All right. Well, that put you through the paces for a quick, but I mean, that's just kind of
Yeah.
every now and again we want people to know that we're real people too. We're not just high and mighty Bible people. That
That's
plan
why I
plan all
said
this
we should
out.
call this Dumb and Dumber.
All right. So, last thing on the way out the door, other than what we are studying right now, like I said, I'm studying Judges and you're studying some things. What is something else you're reading right now that you're enjoying, or maybe not enjoying? I don't know.
I'm reading a book that my son-in-law gave me about weird people. Weird people are Western industrialized, educated people, and this book is about how that our psychology is different than most of the rest of the world, and that most of the rest of the world does
Hmm.
not think like we do.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
we both read weird things. I've been reading B.F. Skinner's old book, Beyond Dignity and Freedom, and getting a lot of stuff out of that.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm reading the Bible a lot, but I read other books too.
Yeah. Well, I'm in a different manner. I've kind of stepped back from some of those deeper books because I've spent a bunch of time reading those here lately. And I'm reading a lot of like children's narrative fiction right now, specifically because I'm reading with the kids at school. One of them is called Pax. It's about a boy and his fox, and they're separated and kind of what they're going through struggle wise. And it's one of those, it's written for kids,
Yeah.
but it's not written for kids.
Have you read The Wild
Um,
Robot?
I just finished The Wild Robot, too.
I've been reading that to my grandkids. Me and Cindy
Such
were
a
reading
good
it.
book.
Oh, The Wild Robot.
Yeah.
I am Roz the Wild
I know.
Robot. Can I talk
Okay.
like a robot on our new channel?
It might get grating after a little bit.
Okay, all right.
But I would say, whereas Roz and The Wild Robot is really filled with a ton of hope and kindness, you see glimpses of it in the characters of Pax, but they're having to deal with a lot more direct pain and suffering and the effects of war. And so
You're a weird person, Jed.
I like to read a lot of things. But this has been a nice break to
Yeah.
kind of read those. But
Yeah.
like you say, you can learn a lot even from kids' books.
Yep.
So anyway, I just thought that would be fun. We may have that every now and again, kind of what we're reading, watching, glimpses into our minds.
Maybe I'll get some of my teacher friends and have them discuss The Wild Robot. No, that's not what we're going to do.
I mean, it'd be worth a discussion sometimes.
Okay.
Some good passages I could highlight. But anyway, thanks, Dan. Thanks everybody else.
Yep.
Again, we would love your support and help getting us to that first milestone of 1,000 subscribers to the new channel.
And you're going to find some really good biblical discussions and really good practical discussions. I think you'll really enjoy.
I think so. All right. We'll see y'all next time.